It's a bear. Good morning. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals. Got the new cam I just discovered this week, accidentally. New Florida live underwater cam. This is called Viva the Keys. Pretty cool stuff. I've seen some really awesome fish down there that we don't really see too much in the underwater cams up in our immediate area here in Lauderdale by the Sea. But you can watch this anytime. Very real. The water clarity is not too good today, but in all the cameras that I looked at today, the water clarity kind of sucked. It's just the wind is kind of whipped up a little bit. Conditions have changed a little bit, and it's getting cooler down here. It's about frickin' time. Let's move into spot prices for today. And like I said, here's the link to that Lower Florida Keys underwater live stream. Pretty cool stuff. I'm subscribed to it now. And let's take a look at spot prices. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up. I mean, I think we're going to see our up November season here. We're at the beginning of November, and typically November is a good month for precious metals, typically, but we are not living in typical times. However, the monkey hammering to any severe degree, they've not really knocked it down below 2,300 very much. It seems to be maintaining in this $23 to $24 range. It doesn't stay low very often, very long. We'll see. We still got tomorrow, Friday, but Fridays haven't seemed to be the norm. They don't seem to be knocking it on Fridays and on Sunday nights and Mondays like they have. The knocks have seemed to become or during the daytime, and specifically if you've been watching my videos here for the last couple of weeks, we've noticed it's happened typically in the morning time at the opening of New York COMEX, and then it ends by noon at the latest. And then the rest of the day kind of flattens out, and the evening markets are kind of, not as shaky. And again, you've seen it on the charts, and we'll look at it again here in a moment. Lows is 1771 and a high of 1798, and we're sitting right around that high, up $27.43. And where gold goes, silver will go as well, even though I do think the ratio is still quite a bit out of whack, gold to silver ratio. Last I looked, it was, I thought it was 76 to 1, but doesn't take much. Silver moves up, gold moves up a little bit, silver moves down a little bit in the $23 range, and there you go. Currently, 23.47 is the low. That was probably last night, and again, we'll look at the overnight markets and see when this occurred. And I'm betting that the $27 up market started in New York this morning. I haven't looked yet. We'll look together here. And silver, probably the same thing. It started in this morning at the New York COMEX Open. All the activity, all the craziness in precious metals have been happening. Again, it's been happening in the opening markets in New York. It's pretty wild. It's not a lot of activity, and then it kind of dies off for the rest of the day. I just wonder who the players are in those particular markets or these markets in the morning that are causing these ups and downs like this. And we kind of know who they are, but I wonder who specifically they are and what the intent is. Silver, 23.47 again, low 24, and we're sitting at the high right now, 24.03. Platinum, still cheap metal in my opinion. Has been cheap for a long time. Was really cheap in the sub $1,000 range, but I like platinum at these levels. I really do. I'm going to start looking more into palladium. I diss palladium all the time, but it's kind of interesting to see what it's been doing lately. And a high of 1,049. We're sitting about 1,040 right now with platinum. So markets are up this morning quite a bit down. What a roller coaster ride. And that's what I keep talking about with gold and silver and precious metals. It's a roller coaster ride to the moon. The ultimate destination for gold and silver owners when you live in a fiat and a credit-fueled bubble like we are is the moon. You're going to see a lot of choppy action. You're going to see a lot of this. You see my cursor, but overall, here's what the line's going to look like in our lifetime. This right here, and that is the roller coaster ride to the moon. If you, I give you my visual with a cursor here. 24-hour gold charts. Let's take a look at my suspicion says exactly true. Look where, we've seen it overnight markets. Take a look at this. Overnight markets kind of creeped up a little bit, but the real activity, just like yesterday and just like it's been going on for weeks now, I believe, has been happening in New York in the morning markets. And look, there's your action right there. And same thing's been happening to the downside. It seems like all the activity has been in the mornings, in the big ups and the big downs with gold and silver of late. Platinum, I really didn't look at the 24-hour platinum chart. Interesting, I probably should. And here, what the hell? We'll get the 24-hour platinum chart. Let's see if they got that. I'm curious where platinum is jumping up at, because We don't talk about platinum that much, but since I'm here, I'll type it in there. 24. There we go. 24-hour platinum Kitco chart. I like their charts. Their advertising is all over the place, though. Well, let's see here. Hey, 24-hour. Look, New York. There we go. So it looks like the action in all three metals has been happening big time in New York and the NYMEX markets. Apparently, or seemingly, there's a Zurich market for platinum right there, too. Not quite sure where that overlaps. I'd look, but I really don't care right now. So let's go back to the 24-hour gold chart. So as I said, and the same thing applies obviously to platinum because we just looked, and silver too. There you go, folks. There's our action. New York, boom, all right. And I suspect today that by noontime, it'll kind of flatten out right there. That line will flatten out because that's what it's done almost every day for the last month or so. Again, I keep guessing at how long it's happening for. My days just run into each other. I'm really bad at identifying 1 week from 3 weeks ago, quite literally. But here's the pattern that we've been seeing. Consistent pattern that we've been seeing is the big moves in the morning, and then it flattens out for the rest of the day. Unusual. Again, I'd like to know why, how, who, and what for. That would be my question on this particular frame that we've been watching. And let's move along here to, give me 1 second here. We already looked at silver, same thing, spikes in the morning, and then it kind of flattens out for the rest of the day. I'm betting that it's going to follow this pattern today. Who knows, though, as soon as I say that, we'll probably see this line keep going up or just make a sharp drop. But the pattern has been lots of activity on the upside and the downside, up and down, until about noontime, and then it flattens out for the rest of the day. I wonder how long this pattern will last. And again, I wonder why it's happening and why that particular time and who are the players. Man, it's like a mystery sometimes. Misery charts. I subscribe to this. I got 5 days. You see up there, 5 days remaining on my subscription here. I figured why not? They offered 7 days that you didn't have to put a credit card up or anything. You can do it too. It's called Y charts and the U.S. Misery Index chart. I really did it just to take a look at this. I thought this was real interesting. And take a look at the 5-year chart. You know what? What I look for is these valleys and these peaks, and it's pretty easy to see that during the last administration. Listen, and this is not, I'm not condoning the last administration or this administration. I'm just pointing out the misery index here. The misery index looked fairly low for quite some time here. If we move along here, and then we got into 2020, obviously, and that would make sense. Of course, the misery index would have gone up substantially. And not come down as much, but here we go. Here's your election time right now. The election time during this period, oddly enough, the misery index was much lower. It might have had something to do with more than elections. It might have had something to do with, well, there's your 2020 elections. I'm sorry. What am I saying? 2020. Then you get 2020, yeah, 2021. And this is probably when we were coming out of the closures for some states, Texas, Florida, and some other states coming out of the closures. Not to mention election time, but the new administration takes over here, and you can see that the misery index has gone up, and a lot of it's political reasons and economic reasons that we're not going to go into, because I can guarantee you one thing: when I start talking politics, particularly politics, my videos seem to get a very much lower view count. Maybe I'm just a conspiracist, but I'll avoid that today. And there's other reasons you get low view counts too. So, and again, that's my conspiracy. But no less, misery index here, you take a look, the misery index was at its apex here. What date would that have been? I'm looking at the 5-year chart here. Let's kind of look at the, let's kind of go down, since we have access to this chart for free. Again, this is expected. The misery index chart would have gone up substantially right here. And then this is what they're calling the recession. It says show recessions. Are we out of the recession yet? I'm not sure. Maybe we, but I wouldn't think that the recession would just last that long. I'd say that gray line should go all the way over to here. I don't think we're completely out of a recession, or are we into something different like a depression? Not quite sure. Or stagflation, or whatever the hell they want to call it. But no less, misery index is pretty cool. There's your 3-year chart. It shows back. We'll go back to a 5-year chart now, and you can see there's the last administration. There's the virus right there. You know, the misery index is kind of an interesting index because it's exactly what it implies. It implies that the misery on the working class people, and it's kind of a measurement of that. And it's pretty clear to see, if you take a look at some of these peaks and valleys, when they occurred. Again, this misery index shot up dramatically during the during 2020. And when things kind of backed off a little bit and some places started to open up, you'll see it drop back a little bit here. We also have the elections in here as well. And here's your new administration right here. Let's go back to max. Let's just look at the max chart too. This ought to be interesting as well. And let me kind of boot that up a little bit. And again, this is free. You can go on there. I've got 5 days remaining on my free subscription here, and you can go on and look at this yourself for free and decide whether you want to subscribe to it. I'm going to look and see what else they have on here too. I may subscribe to this site, not sure. Let's take a look at the misery index, which seems to have gone back quite a long time ago. Was that 1950 or something, or earlier? Or yeah, probably the 50s is when they started the misery index. I think we talked about this one time when I first discovered the misery index. Give me 1 second, quick sip of coffee here. Oddly enough, take a look at the misery index here, gold prices, all right? Nixon took us off the gold standard somewhere in this area right here. And remember, we got Vietnam, we were coming off Vietnam. There's 1960 and there's 1980, so let's presume 1970 is kind of like right in the middle here. This is during the Nixon administration right here, and this is about when he took us off the gold standard. Take a look at the misery index. This is inflationary times, a lot what they're comparing to today. So the misery index was quite a bit higher there, and so were the prices of gold. This almost looks like the gold chart a little bit. If you go into 1980, there's the high of the misery index. So many charts align with the gold price when you look at past bull markets and past bear markets in precious metals. And then you'll take a look at this for many years, and let's get up into 2000. Now, it's not quite the peak that is, but I suspect that we're going to be seeing these types of peaks in the misery index upcoming soon. Mark my words on this. I think we're going to see epic levels of the misery index coming up here in our near future, and you can see the spikes starting already. Look at the spike. Look at this spike, and where it compares to right here. I think this is just the start of it. First off, 2020, before we even got to 2020, we still had major financial issues. We had central banks pumping tons of money into the system. They never fixed it since 2008. They just put more Band-Aids on it, and more Band-Aids and more Band-Aids. And they never fix it, and it's still not fixed today, folks. The economy is still not fixed. The banking system is not fixed. The Federal Reserve is still pumping out tons of money, still bailing out everything. So nothing has really been fixed, per se, by central bankers. In fact, they probably created a worse situation. Bailouts. The problem with bailouts is you don't bail out failing entities, and that's what they continually seem to do. Is you can't bail out. It's like tough love. If you continually let someone get away with something over and over and over, and that's what they're doing, pumping money into the system, and with the government giving out giving out free money, stimulus. This is just. It's ridiculous. If you did this to a kid, parents know this. Tough love. And you can tell the difference between a good kid and a bad kid, because parents that have good kids usually had some form of tough love there. You can't let them get away with things over and over. You can't bail them out over and over. And that's exactly what we lack with the Fed: tough love. In fact, but it doesn't matter for them because they make money, whether the economy is going to take a shit or not. They're all going to be sitting in their castles in the sky when everybody else is standing in a food line. So it doesn't matter to them. They make money either way. They'd make more money in a good economy. Of course, they'd like that, but that's not the case. So here's your misery index right here, and as you can see, you can do the gray areas are supposed to be the recessions that we have. However, I believe that this is not really correct. I believe this gray line for recession should extend out further because I don't think we've ever gotten out of it since 2008, really, to some degree. What is it? A recession is when your neighbor is out of work. A depression is when you're out of work. Okay, so I guess that's the difference between the two. Pretty cool though, misery index, and you can extrapolate all kinds of cool things, and if you compare this to the gold chart, compare it to oil charts, compare it to stock, bonds, and Dow prices, it's pretty damn cool. And let's take a look at 1 year gold charts as well. What was I going to do? I was going to kind of compare these two There we go, U.S. Misery Index. Let's take a look, 1980, all right? Let's look at that 1980. Let's look at the gold prices here, ready? 1 year, 10 year. All right, this chart is so slow. I'd give it a try. There we go, 10 year. And if you take a look, oh, we're gonna need longer than a 10 year to get to that. Let's go to the 20-year chart, 1980. Oh, 20 years, gosh, I mean, I obviously don't know when the 1980s were. Let's see if I can get that thing to work. And we better go to all right. God, has it been 30 years since the 1980s, guys? Let's see, come on, man. It's not working for me. All right, well, anyway, I wanted to show you the peaks and valleys. Let's just use 2012. Take a look at 2012, and let's see if the U.S. Misery Index shows indication of that period too. 08, 09, 11, and 12. There you go. There you go. Price of gold being up substantially. Same thing, price of gold being up here, price of gold being up here as well. And this being our bear market in gold. So what an interesting correlation with the misery chart that we have there. As far as gold prices go and silver prices, I've been talking about this choppy action for the last couple of weeks, and that's actually why I brought this chart up. I never hardly use this chart. I don't think I've seen it before, but I'd like to thank whoever put it out there, Gold Price, for allowing me to use their chart online. I guess that's the whole point of it. And let me go to let's go to like a 1 month, all right? Let me see if I can get that 1 month chart up, because I kind of want to just see that choppy action that I've been talking about in precious metals. You know, gold up 50 bucks, down 50 bucks, up 50 bucks, up and down, up and down. Same thing with silver. There we go. Let's go 1 month. I say we're probably going to go 2 months. Let me see if I can get that 2 month chart to work. Yeah, take a look at this action right here. And it's kind of all been, if you drew an average line through it, I mean, gold looks like it's kind of held above the 1760 line pretty good. I think you could call the average above 1760 and 1800. So we've been in this range, but look at the choppy action. Boom, 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 boom. You know, and the same thing with silver if we're going to take a look at that. So it's just kind of odd this last month that, you know, this real choppy up and down movements, you know, 50-cent dollar for silver. But you know what, I shouldn't say odd. That was pretty standard for silver for quite some time before it made some big moves, that choppy action. So we might be in for some big moves here soon. Let's see. We'll see what happens. I know there's some big short positions in silver out there pushing the price downward, but yeah, let's see what happens. Speaking of correlation of charts, the chart guy that makes comments today is going to love me for showing all these charts. I kind of think it's, you know, I always like looking at charts. It tells me where me been. There goes my English language. Tells me where I have been. And you know, quite frankly, I don't know it tells you exactly where you're going, but it tells you the potential of. Me and Chart Guy had a few conversations about this in the past. You know, I've always been saying if charts were 100% accurate, you wouldn't, you know, again, my folly on it, he's an expert on charts, but I've always thought it was a great way to look and see where you've been. It's a good indication of where you might be going. The thing with chart is, and not our particular friend here that I've noticed, is that there's a lot of ifs. Well, if it hits this 24, it's going to go over this. If it doesn't hit this, it's going to go below this. So there's plenty of outs there, you know. But of course, though, everyone wants to read a chart and know that it's absolutely telling you where you're going to go. And I don't think charts were meant for that, and I think he'd agree with me as well. But it's still cool looking back and look at the correlations of charts and overlaying them over other charts and other type political events and laying them over. And we'll see that gold fits over a lot of these charts, especially that misery chart. But take a look at the gold prices, 100-year historical charts. Give me 1 second. Gold price versus oil. Look at the seemingly correlation between those two commodities right there. Gold price and U.S. dollar correlation. Look at the inverse relationship there. I mean, it's pretty amazing when you start to look at some of these charts and how some of the gold and silver goes hand in hand with some of these things. S&P 500 to gold ratio, that was kind of cool. Gold to silver ratio. Well, we look at that all the time. And again, that's not comparative. Fed balance sheet versus gold prices. Now, this ought to be interesting since the big news today is them talking about tapering. And I think tapering just means reducing their bond purchases or reducing their purchases or something like that. And what did I say earlier about the Fed tapering? That was their Band-Aids. That was their response to the hemorrhaging that we had in 2008. And They've done nothing but put more Band-Aids and more Band-Aids on it. And now they want to start trying to take these Band-Aids off. The patient's just going to hemorrhage more. They never fixed the problem. They didn't fix it. They Band-Aided it. And that's what taper is all about, ripping off the Band-Aids. You know, and the fact is they're going to have to go back in and do something else because they never fixed the patient. They just put Band-Aids on the wound. Or they just, a gaping wound, and they put Band-Aids on it. And now when they take the Band-Aids off, they're screwed again. Yeah, how's that for a simple look at it? So, ZH, let's get out of the charts and everything. This is stuff you guys can look at, and I hope you do. It's kind of fun. And let's take a look at what there's much in ZH. Oh boy, that's news. Okay, let's keep moving down here. And boo. Something, this is kind of interesting. I hope this is not true. ERs are swamped with people with these issues right here. I really hope that's not true. I really do. And let's see what's we're very Lawrence Leopard on Bitcoin, gold, and the coming crash. I read this. I don't know who Lawrence Leopard is. He likes Bitcoin. I don't know why. I think he's kind of been suckered into it to some degree. There's a lot of reasons that now there's a lot of reasons that I don't like Bitcoin because it does take away from it takes away people that otherwise would have been in the gold market. And I know that sounds like a jealousy thing, but it's really not. Gold has a lot to offer that Bitcoin doesn't. I think Bitcoin's a big sham just to sucker in small fish and drop the hammer on them. And it's been done over and over. I'm really surprised. You always hear about the people that made money in Bitcoin, but you never hear about the guys that bought at 60 and then watched it go to 30 and then sold it. Or, this is what they do. Right now, Bitcoin is being accepted into the CME, and the CME or the COMEX. They're the same people that manipulate gold and silver markets, folks. If you don't think that they're going to do the same and even worse, and their big whales are going to take that Bitcoin marketplace and just completely make it their own, and they're going to eat all the fish they can. And who's the fish? It's the working guys. It's the people that work hard for their dollars. The people that, well, anyways, I've gone there many times, and gold and the coming crash. Well, that's not telling us anything new, so I'm not going to read that. Oh man, I missed this article. Why yield on gold matters. I guess I'll have to read that. Hyperinflation is 3 to 4 years away. I don't know. Hyperinflation. When people throw out the word hyperinflation, what is the definition? I mean, what definition are they using? Let's take a look at what the definition of hyperinflation. Is there any particular benchmark that you reach? Hyperinflation. Let's see here, and let me use my favorite, which is Investopedia. They are the best online site, and again, I don't get paid for this, in my opinion, for looking up definitions, financial definitions. And one of the things I've said before, folks, I learn every day. I learn something new. I read words I'm not familiar with. I'm learning about charts, so I learn something new every day. And one of the things that I learn is that if you're reading articles on financial stuff and legal and political stuff even, some of the words you may not understand, you may have heard them, you're not sure the context, especially in the financial realm. Reverse swaps. What is a reverse? I mean, most people don't know what a reverse swap, but all this stuff, you can look it up here for free in Investopedia. And rather than glossing over it when you're reading a financial article or economic or political, rather than just going over the word and saying, I think I know what it means, take a moment. You got a computer, and take the word and type what it is. Well, I know what hyperinflation is. We know what hyperinflation is, but has it ever really been defined here as a percentage? Hyperinflation refers to rapid and unrestrained price increases in the economy, typically at rates, there you go. This is what I was looking for. Typically at rates exceeding 50% a month over time. So for the people out there that are talking about hyperinflation, all right, unless they're not clear on what hyperinflation really is, or they're confusing it with, I don't know what hyperinflation, but higher inflation rates. Hyperinflation really means, or typically it means, that you're exceeding 50% of the product value each month. So the product value is going up. Say if it costs you $100 this month, next month $150, next month it's $225. You see what I'm saying? So that's what hyperinflation is. Now, when these people throw out this word hyperinflations, are they really talking about that type of inflation? They're just talking about inflation like we haven't seen before, and that's just been happening for a long time. We're just in an accelerated inflation period right now. Could we? Yeah, I don't think we're going to see hyperinflation. I think the Fed and the government will step in before that and start sending everyone a check on MMT until that goes broke. Like I said, they don't fix problems; they just band-aid them, and that's the way I see it going. I'll be dead by then probably, but maybe not. You never know. I may live through a hyperinflationary period. I don't really want to, but I may, and I'll be hedged quite well with gold and silver because that's when gold and silver will shine. It's outlived corporations, countries, empires, stupid governments, you name it. It's outlived them all, including central bankers and fiat mostly. So gold and silver has been around for 5,000 years. It's outlived everything. It's one of the oldest, most trusted forms of money in the universe. Well, I won't say the universe. We don't know who's out there, but in our little universe here. And let's see, a November rally for gold and silver. I didn't get a chance to read this. Actually, it's a video, so I didn't really get a chance to watch the video. And I said the same thing earlier, November rally for gold and silver. Typically, this is the month where we'll see a rally in precious metals, and maybe that's what we're starting to see right now. Maybe we're seeing the building of that, and the shorts just trying to take it down, not so successfully. And let's see. Oh boy, nothing good here. Nothing really good. That's too funny because they really did. He doesn't know what's going on in his own administration. Pretty sad. Disgusting pile. Oh boy. All right. So this is just all negative news here, and we can look at negative news every day. But we're going to get out of this right here and go into gata.org. Something we've talked about many times, and when many videos I've had that I believe that the crypto markets are just going to be an introduction for young people for when the Fed coin comes out. This article on gata.org talks about Fed's digital dollar scary and means control over economy, and I've said this for a long time. My conspiracy is that the Fed crypto, particularly Bitcoin, was created to get people used to the idea of accepting digital fiat, more or less, in one form or another. And I think the Fed has been working on this for quite some time. They would prefer to do this. They can directly send a payment directly to your bank account. But don't forget, folks, they could take it away just as fast, and they know they can track everything. This is where we're going. We're going to a cashless society. These bastards have been trying to prepare us for the longest time to go to a cashless society. What a better way to do it than starting out with something like crypto. Not only that, let a bunch of people get rich out. A bunch of young folks make some money, get the taste of money in their mouth with crypto. How much better than that? If you made money on Bitcoin, you are certainly not going to diss it in any way, shape, or form. In fact, you might even be open and prone to accepting more types of digital fiat like that in the future. And that's, I think, where we're going with this. The Federal Reserve's digital dollar is a scary concept because it's all about having direct control over currency and the economy. Said Brian London, executive editor of Gold Newsletter and New Orleans Investment Conference host. As the Federal Reserve prepares to launch a review of possible central digital currency shortly, U.S. citizens need to be aware of all the negative consequences that could come from a Fed coin. That's scary to me. You can see the Federal Reserve beginning the PR campaign to soften the public up for digital currency, a Fed coin. And they will talk about a lot of the advantages, transparency of use, everything that you see from the blockchain technology, but beyond all of that, there's control and the ability to control the economy. Pull those levers more exactly and precisely than ever before. London told Michelle McCory. Michelle McCoy. She's my favorite at Kitco. Editor-in-chief of Kitco News. There are already new proposals out there that deal with monitoring bank accounts of everyday citizens, including all inflows and outflows of money. London pointed out it's a control issue at the bottom. Again, folks, this is what I've talked about over and over. On top of all the privacy fears, the adoption of a digital dollar could hurt the crypto space by taking away from its popular use case argument. The Fed coin will be forced on, and I believe this 100%, I agree with this gentleman as well. I've been saying this for over a year now. The Fed coin will be forced onto the U.S. economy, the use of the Fed's version of crypto that will take away a lot of other supposed uses of crypto, and then you may even get regulation against Bitcoin and other, which is the likely path that I see going on. And how will the Fed coin force their way into the economy. I'll tell you exactly how. This is where MMT comes in mind. I believe that when we see the next bubble, the greatest bubble of all time, crash here, that the Fed is going to create a digital coin that they are going to give away for free to poor people or people that have been hurt by this bad economy. It's going to be like giving candy to a baby. It's going to be like giving heroin to an addict. They're going to give it away free. People will be able to go out and buy food with it. Why? Because the economy will come to a standstill if merchants don't accept this Fed coin. So all of a sudden, merchants are going to have to accept this as a legal tender, lawfully, and a whole bunch of other reasons. And at that point, once the Fed's got their foot in the door with the cashless society, we are all screwed as a society. So folks, you can't let this happen. And again, that's my belief in where cryptos are headed for. And I believe that a good segment of the population is completely blind to it. Well, let's take a look at Wall Street silver. I want to show you something interesting. I'm going to share this with you, is that titles. I keep telling you how big titles are on things. My Wall Street silver things, this didn't get such great response, around 20, and I know exactly why. Best and worst deals in gold and silver. I think some of the Wall Street silver people might have actually watched this, and I really gave a hard time, not to buyers and not to people that own this stuff, but to particular products. I just right out said that silver eagles are ridiculously priced. You shouldn't buy them. And I think some people that read that or read into that only heard that my product sucks. No, silver eagles don't suck. The premiums suck. That's what I've been trying to say, and I'm trying to make you more money. So don't get upset with me, folks. And I know there are some people out there. I see it kind of like that butt hurt kind of comment. Well, silver eagles, again, I'm not referring to anybody particular. I'm just referring in general. Well, my silver eagles, I like, you don't have to defend it. I love the products. I love these products. But again, my job here, I feel that my job is to educate you folks on what the cheapest, best deals are. This is to put more money in your pocket so you can buy something really cool. You can go out and buy all the shiny shit that you want or whatever. Oh yeah, to use the word shiny shit yesterday. I know that's kind of a, I referred to some people that like shiny shit. It might be like magpies, magpies are blackbirds that build their nest with shiny stuff. So, and again, it's not a negative. Some people like shiny stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with liking this stuff. However, if you come to me and you say you're stacking silver because you want to hedge and you want to buy silver, and you're doing that purposely, and you say I'm buying silver eagles, and I tell you that's the worst thing to do, and you continue to buy silver eagles, then I really don't have much sympathy for you, because the fact is, buy a couple of them if you like to look at them, but once the price gets absolutely ridiculous, you're not going to get your freaking money out of it. You're not going to get your premium back. You're going to lose money, so until the premiums on silver eagles and a lot of these products I was talking about yesterday come down substantially and get more competitive with the other products, I'd avoid them entirely. Now, it doesn't make them bad products. It just makes them a bad deal, okay? Titles. I also noticed one thing in title. If you put in titles, remember I was telling you about people click titles really before they click titles, and they click that like button or they don't like button sometimes before they even watch the watch the videos. But here's an interesting one of my highest views out here on because they tell you kind of one of my highest views out here was winning the long game. Very positive. 29 wasn't too bad. There you go. Gold and silver in New York implodes. Look at this one. $3,000 gold in 3 months. This was almost like somewhat of an experiment on click titles for me. All right, and it kind of proved my point people. I shouldn't say this, but it seems like some people out there just want smoke blown up their asses. You know what I mean? Pardon my expression, but they want to click titles that are real. They don't want to look at stuff that may be slightly negative. They don't want to look at people don't want to see how sausage is made. So, I guess, but I was just really surprised that if I could sit here all day and put $3,000 gold in 3 months, $50 silver, and I notice a lot of YouTubers out there do that. They put these exorbitant titles out there. Now, mind you, this title is clickbaitish, but I did discuss this $3,000 gold in months, and it was an article that was written by another well-respected gold guy that felt that gold was going to be $3,000 in the next, within months, okay? I quoted that, so my clickbait is true. But there's some people that just put $3,000 gold just to get you click, and they have no reason why or how or what. They just kind of throw that out there just to get you click the videos. I'm learning a lot about this video stuff here. I'd like to thank Wall Street Silver moderators and the folks out there, the members, for allowing me to post my stuff out here, and for the guys that read it and like it, and even for the ones that don't like it. I appreciate you taking the time and not putting nasty, uncivil comments down there as well. So far, so good. Well, let's move into, let me just click on, see what's going on over WSS, see what I can, oh, that's not what I want to do, Wall Street Silver. Oh, I wanted to hit that one right there. Let's see, it shows you how well I know how to navigate around here. Let's see what the guys are posting out there. Lots of memes. It is a very meme-heavy, Reddit's very meme-heavy. Mostly gold. This guy's bought some decent gold here. He's got quite a bit there. That's nice. Nice little stack of gold, sir. And, he's even called Hollander Silver. So Hollander Silver showing off his gold stack. I imagine he's even got a bigger silver stack. Can't tell quite what products these are right here, but I'm sure he's buying them for a good premium. Especially if you watched my video yesterday. And what does that look like? Is that Britannia's right there, or is that some Canadian? The boxes kind of look Canadian-like, but I think the UK use those boxes too. Gosh, I love the tigers and things, but I think the premiums on these are really, really high. Hopefully this gentleman didn't pay a high premium. He bought these when these were cheaper, but if you're stacking silver, God, wouldn't you love just to stack nothing but these? But if they're bringing $5 and $6 and $7 over melt, it's just a bad deal. Again, I'm not going to beat a dead horse here and tell you what bad deals are. I told you yesterday, if you're spending more than $4.75 per ounce on any silver units, I'd rather see you spend less than $4. You're paying too much. As a silver stacker, as a shiny stuff stacker, maybe not. Again, if it's something you do for fun, that's a whole different deal. Well, let me get out of WSS. I don't see anything here I can specifically address here. People showing their bars. And again, if you're showing your silver and gold bars out there and you're safe at home, folks, make sure there's no indication anywhere on the website of your real name and your address and how to find you, because this stuff should be stashed and not shown to anyone that knows you, okay? Just, be careful, that's all I'm saying. Let's take a look at yesterday's video, best and worst deals in gold and silver. Not my highest view video for sure, but I've noticed that some of my videos that I delve into politics, again, this is my conspiracy. I kind of think that YT has a algorithm that when they hear particular politics and particular type words, they really do throw it down in the bottom. I've heard some big YouTubers express this concern as well. So I think it could happen to me. I really do believe that, because I'm very political as well to some degree. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm more of a socially liberal and fiscally conservative. No less, I like to talk about both sides. I like to talk about the different things. I like to talk about conspiracies even. So I wouldn't doubt it if my videos are kind of tamped down quite a bit. However, what does that mean? Does that mean I should just stop talking about it so I can get a huge amount of views and a huge amount of subscribers right away? No, this is a war of attrition. I'll just do the right thing, be civil in how I discuss stuff, and just deal with the small views when I am talking about politics. Again, my conspiracy, but I've heard a lot of other YouTubers express the same thing, especially the gun guys, and again, I've heard a lot of YouTubers say the same thing, that if they delve into particular words in politics, that YT will not distribute their videos as much, and I really believe that to be true. Let's take a look here. There you are, Hunted or Bust. There's my favorite chart guy, commenter, chart guy. I guess there's other favorite chart guys out there too. Let's take a look and see. Someone said we had no sound yesterday. I saw that, and I think it was just a glitch on YouTube. Everything seemed to be fine. And hey, Inspector Jason, how you doing? All the fake news about tapering. Listen. Even if they do taper, they never fixed anything. Again, it's like pulling a Band-Aid, or it's like pulling one of those packs they put on people that are hemorrhaging. I forget what they call them, like, the emergency people use them, the military uses them. It's like pulling that off. What are they going to do? They're going to have to just put one back on. They never fixed the patient, which would be the U.S. economy, the global economy, in fact. Let's say, and it's like a Jenga game for sure. That's a great analogy. It is the Jenga economy, and that's very much true. which block is going to take it down. Thanks for watching. Bread and Butter says, I literally just traded Eagles for a kilo bar and gained 4+ ounces. There you go, brother. That's exactly what I'm talking about. This is about, where? Talking about, okay, I guess I don't know how to use a computer. Give me 1 second. Let me go back down to, there we go. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. Trading in your American Silver Eagles to get your numbers up, more silver. You want more silver. And this goes to, and great job, by the way, and I'm glad you made that trade. I've been talking about these trades. One of the advantages people have of listening to my videos is that I can alert you to these type of trades, and I have been. 90%'s in that same position. You can trade 90% and maybe walk out with some nice silver because of the premium difference right now. And your local dealer will make a few bucks too. You won't hear that from anyone else but a local coin store. And here I am. Thanks for watching, Bread and Butter, and what a great trade. I'm glad you listened or thought about it yourself. Wine Country Stacking says, I love all the information you pass on. I appreciate that. Been not falling for that one. Not falling for it. It's J.P. Morgan and Crimex. And Ben, Mr. Dover, JP's not been in the short position for quite some time. It's a misconception that's out there. Those criminals already made their money. They've been charged by the government and fined for manipulating markets, probably spoofing. But the short position they held, I don't think they were fined for the short position they held on to for a long time, probably for spoofing or something else. But JP's out of that position. They're in the same position as most of us stackers right now. They're holding physical metals, so it's kind of hard to they're in the same position as us right now, similar, I believe. They're waiting to make money. Don't forget, JP and these guys don't manipulate these markets because they hate these markets or they hate you and I. They do it to get filthy rich. They're just freaking greedy, okay? So the greed factor now for JP is they're in a physical long side and they're going to wait for that upside and long and make themselves another $1 trillion. And it was all at the expense of the short positions that we had to suffer through. So they really should be in prison, in my opinion. Guy Foot, thanks for watching. Appreciate that. And I used to buy only silver eagles, but I changed the whole way I buy and have doubled the silver. Thank you, sir. Good to hear, Guy. That's the point of this, is not having over premium products that, they're pretty, but not having a huge amount of your money in premium, but having your money in real silver. That'll be a bigger benefit for you when silver goes. What do you think that premium is going to do for you when silver goes to 50? Nothing. What do you think that extra couple ounces of silver is going to do? It's going to bring you $50 an ounce more. That's a big deal. Hager says your channel is fast becoming one of my favorites. Thank you, Hager. I'm sorry. Appreciate that, Mr. Hodler. And a fellow Floridian. Thanks. If you ever in my area, come by and see me for sure. I'm open 10 to 4. Yeah, I'm the dreaded F-bomber. I've thrown a few out there. I think that even worse than throwing F-bombs out there is talking about political stuff, Stephen. So, worse than talking politics with adults civilly is worse than throwing F-bombs. Believe me, that's true right now for a lot of these people out here. They don't like the truth. They don't want to hear the truth. In fact, where is that little thing I just was putting up? Ready?
I'll answer the question. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
There you go. I had to play that for you. That was on YouTube, by the way, and I have to give credit to where that went, and you all know what that came from. So I am the dreaded F-bomber. Wow, Quad, I can't thank you enough for giving me your expertise. Yeah, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And my hope is that you have a good local coin store you can deal with, and you gain more expertise and you make more money from these decisions. Michael, I like Philharmonics too. And Donald Robinson says, my banking friends in London strongly favor perspective on palladium and platinum and encourage backing up the truck. I agree with that. However, they say gold is dead and will drop precipitously. Nah, I don't think so, Donald. That's just bank. That's what bankers think. Of course, I wouldn't use bankers as a guide for precious metals, especially if they're under the age of 50. Young folks. What can I say? Nothing wrong with it, but experience counts on this stuff, and we know that that's not true. We know that gold and silver and platinum and palladium, I'm not sure about palladium, but more than likely are on a roller coaster to the moon. And what is the fuel for that roller coaster? Well, it's credit. It's a credit bubble. That's what fuels it. Thanks, Z. Nice to see you posting there. Appreciate it. And where else? Hunter to bust. Okay. All right. Mr. Hunter Bust says he uses Net Danny line chart, closing bell 3 p.m. yesterday's term. I'm not going to read all this to you folks here, but what I'm going to recommend is you hit the pause button down here and you read 100 or bust comment here, and a nice bullish hammer rallying back. Secondly, this area competes with 50% Fibonacci retracement from the lows of 2140 to 2485. Lastly, allowed BBs to short. And then, pretty cool stuff. And again, I've had an ongoing conversation with Mr. 100 or bust here in the comment section. I would suggest you also reply and ask him questions and have a nice civil conversation with him as well. I'd like to see, I think there's a lot of learning to be had in comment sections on most YouTube videos as well amongst yourselves. So I would encourage you guys to talk with this gentleman, and I hope 100 or bust doesn't mind that as well. The 2480 is the easiest. So according to the charts here, Mr. 100 or bust feels that once we blow through 2485, the resistance zone, we should be moving up to the next target, which is 27 or 2750. Hey, thanks, really, 100 or bust. I really appreciate you posting this stuff out here, and look forward to more of it. Thanks. And Deline DeVries says, is it better to buy in troy ounces since troy has a few more grams when stacking? A few more grams when stacking. No, all troy ounces, all precious. Oh, you're a little confused there, Deline. Sorry, I was a little confused reading it. No, all precious metals are bought and sold in troy ounces, all of them. So you really don't have an option to buy in avoirdupois grams. You know, troy ounces. There's 31.1 troy ounces in a troy ounce, or 31.1 grams in a troy ounce. There's 28, I think, 0.15 or 28 grams in a avoirdupois ounce. However, when you're buying precious metals, you can't buy avoirdupois. That you can only buy in troy ounces. So there's no better deal because you can't buy it that way. Thanks for watching, Deline. I hope I cleared that up for you. Bab777734 went to my local coin store, picked up 5 silvers for 30, and I don't like eagles, but I went ahead and did it. Again, don't feel bad about buying silver eagle, folks. You know, if you know, I'm not telling you, I'm not like the soup Nazi on Seinfeld, you know, on the Seinfeld. No soup for you, you know. I am kind of like that if you come in my store, but you know, buy what you like. I mean, I think this is true, but really remember, the whole purpose of me telling you this stuff is so you can have more silver, which means more higher silver prices, which means far more money in your pocket than the premiums that you will be paying for this stuff now. And more money in your pocket means more happiness to you and your family, okay? That's important to me. Hey, I'd like to thank for everybody for watching. Make sure you hit that share and that like button and all that good stuff. And make sure that you subscribe to my videos if you're not. I really appreciate that. That's really about it. This is Brian Kuzbar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Call me anytime at 954-493-8811 between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Mondays through Fridays. Happy to help you out with whatever you need. Remember, I advertise to beat APMEX, JM, and SD Bullion, the 3 big online sellers. I'm a local coin store. I don't ship out, so if you don't live in South Florida, unfortunately, I can't deal with you. But I do recommend, I always highly recommend, keep that money local, folks. You know, if APMEX is in your town, go buy from them because they spend that money locally. But remember, when you send your money out of state, it's gone. It's not going to be there for good. And I like to keep money inside our communities. Hey, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.